Hey, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, everybody. I'm moving along. I'm not going to let no evil spirit stop me from sharing what I'm finding to be helpful. It probably, I don't know who all it's going to be, who all it's helpful to, but a lot of people are telling me they really like it, and that explains why they keep showing up. So over here, I'm going to keep reading this entire book. We will, by the time we finish today, we will be in part two of the book. So we're halfway finished. And I'm not going to stop because I'm enjoying reading it. And I'm really advising you. I'll put this up, back up, so you know exactly where to get the book. You can go right on Amazon and get this book for dirt cheap, $6, whatever. It's the name of it is Introduction to Buddhism, and this is who it's by. And he can have a lot of other things, a lot of other books and mediation books that you might like. But today, what we're going to cover is from chapter one, from part one of the book. We're going to read Buddhist Way of Life, and then we're going to cover part two. In part two uh, of the introduction to Buddhism, we're going to read The Path to Liberation and Developing Renunciation. And then I'll have some discussions. Like I said, I can hold it down without nobody, but I tell you, I had a really great time with Brother Sanchez, Chief Holiday coming on the panel, and of course, Copper Engine is one of the best co-hosts to ever have because she has a lot of information on Buddhism. And I'm sorry, I just feel strongly that if we were given this and this was thrown down our throats and we were threatened to learn Buddhism, that would have been real helpful to the brothers in our community. But it's never too late to begin studying it and begin changing behaviors and dealing with each other in a different way other than violence. Really. And I like how it teaches you the book really teaches you how to control yourself and admit to, and instead of being too proud to admit to a wrong, it teaches you how to ingest and deal with a wrong you've done. And I like that. Now, me personally, I am not perfect, but generally, on the real, I literally don't like to deceive people and never do. It doesn't make me feel good inside. Um, and I really like it. I don't know who Buddha's mother is. I guess I read it in the beginning, but that's why I read the book over and over again to find out who they are. But I'm gonna get the next Buddha book, the book without, anyone else's. Well, all books have people's personal interpretations in them, but there are just some books better written and explained than others. But always when you're reading, you can come up with your own conclusion and just a better understanding when you read it yourself because you get a different interpretation. But as long as the interpretation is good and it works for you, I say go I say keep it. As long as it's something that absolutely makes a complete positive 360 change in your life, and because you interpret it a particular way, everybody's not going to receive the same message when they read things. Okay. But what I do say is stay away from the people and negative interpretation of it. Stay away from them because that means that they've been cursed not to even receive the message. When people come out with negative interpretations of something really written great, it's because that they have been cursed not to be able to interpret it. They've been blinded by a particular ancestor or ancestors. That's how I deal with negative people, that they're cursed. I think all negative people are cursed. So they're cursed until they bow down and look within themselves and remove all the evil from their internal, because evil comes from your gut, because it's hate. Hate comes from the gut. So ignore people that always have something negative to say about something that seems to be so beautiful to you. That's what I say. And you also have to create your own space when you're trying to help people. When you're trying to help people, you have to move away from people, because people can be a distraction of the message you're trying to get to the people that you're trying to help. So you also have to keep that in mind. Some of them mean well, and some of them don't mean well. Some people are step in to be a disruption, to curve your mind and thought to something else. So this is what I mean when I say you have to stand on and take control of anything that you want to accomplish. You can't have people that have negative influences and negative vibes. The minute you feel that negative vibe, you got to act on it. Hey, Copper Engine Love. The minute you feel that negative, you gotta work quick. You gotta move away from it for real and get away from it. And you gotta act on it. Really, when people are come into your space to uh redirect your thought. Now when you are focused on getting information out to people, and this is the truth, if, like, for instance, I'm reading this book and I'm finding that it's helping people, and people are stepping out the box, and it's helping to unindoctrinate them, okay? Because they're learning that the higher powers are really people running around on this planet, walking around. That's the biggest part of Christianity. They're learning that the people who they're praying to, and their uh, uh, are people really on this earth that's in power. Okay, they are learning that they're praying to an enemy. Me personally, because our bloodlines continue to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, I pray to the ancestors and to the higher power. Okay, to the universe, whatever's in the universe that interacts with us in a positive way. When I pray, I meditate, taking myself to our, what society calls, is our dead ancestors. I pray and talk to them, and they do protect you. They do things to people. They do. Because you believe your ancestors are dead. They're really not. They're really not. And I believe that to the core of my being. I believe that they do things to people when people harm you. And I'm going to stand on that and continue to manifest that that is true. I really believe that when you're harmed and you're crying, you're at your wits, and you pray to your ancestors, they get up, they go to that person, and they do something. They turn their damn car wheel when they're driving and make them crash into something. They do. They do. I believe that. I do. Keeping it a buck. But let me tell you something. We are gonna get into the chapters. But first thing I want to introduce you to is a brother in Louisiana. I don't know one person in Louisiana or from Louisiana that can't cook. I'm serious. Louisiana people is off the chain. And this brother sent me these candies. They got pecans and all kinds of stuff in them from Louisiana. Some of y'all, big old box with a bunch of bags like this. He makes them. He makes them. And they so good, and I'm gonna be eating them when I turn my screen off. It's because I'm eating one of these candies. They so good, man. They so good. When I tell you, look, it has caramel in it and pecans. Man, look at these things. Caramel and pecans. And he cooks these. He makes them. And so I'm cutting my camera off now. I can't begin to. Oh man, he got $5 bags, $10 bags. It's like somebody who sell weed on the block. He got $5 bags of these, 10, 15, 20, $25, 30. I'm telling you, that's how you can buy them. And here's his information. Um, and I'm getting ready to. What I'm gonna do is buy a whole bunch from him in these little bags like this. Maybe he'll put, and then when I get them, I'll put them in my little cute little um bags. I have cute little bags that I have, so that when I go out and do my surveys in the communities, I'll have those to give to the people, um along with a wire pen or something, when they complete one of our surveys. So here is the information. You could screenshot this. Man, when I tell you, when you ain't gonna be able to stop. I already done called them and ordered some more because they are gone. I had to hide the last 2 bags from Willie Greedy Butt because when I go to sleep, be up eating your stuff with the munchies. And I'm like, nah, money grip. But wait a minute, where is he? Here it is. Here's where you order it from. Screenshot this, y'all. I'm cutting my screen off because I'm eating them now as we speak. This is where you order them from. Screenshot this information. Man, when you eat these, I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to stop. And from what I'm learning, these are a hit in Louisiana. Hey, the brother that I'm talking about is in the chat room. His name is Lou Arnis. I'm putting him on blast right now. Right there. Man, I'm going to tell you something. I'm sitting here tearing these candies up. For real. Oh my goodness. Screenshot this. You can reach him right here on a I'm eating them and I'm sorry. Let me remove this. Oh, I thought it was a phone number, so it's not. Order them. When you get them, I'm telling you right now, you're going to call them right back to order more because you're going to sit your big butt right there and eat them all just like I am. And you're going to be mad because ain't none left. But he gets the order to you fast. I could tell you that. He's fast. Man, when you eat these, it's going to be a hot mess because you're going to be mad and wanting them. I'm telling you, when you eat them, don't share them with nobody. Oh. I already put my order in. Sorry, but they're just good. I'm gonna read y'all, but these are so good. Hey, Lou. Bridget, hey, baby. Lou, there's not a phone number on here, and they calling for the phone numbers because they want to call and get their order. They was like, bump Facebook. They want to call and get their order. When you get them, send me a shout out so we can eat them together because y'all, these are so good. Lou, put a number, a telephone number. I know that's right, Bridget. They so good. Lou, drop a phone number they could reach you at because the people in the chat is asking for a phone number. The email is quick. They do check that email, Bird Brown 2000, right away. But Lou, you got to drop a number, Lou, that they could call you and order from. Mm, mm, mm. There it is. I'm taking this down. Okay, so I'm gonna take it down and I'll be putting it back up again later. So let's get something straight right now before we start with Buddha. What you need to know about our ancestors. Hit dogs holler and people get mad. But here's what you need to know. Don't get mad. Like my grandmother said, scratch your ass and get glad. Our ancestors, they did not have British accents. They did not have African accents. They have, to this date, Southern accents, Northern accents, Midwest, and Western accents. Facts. Now I'm talking mainland here in North America. I do not do uh Central and South America. I don't do it. I'm only focused here. It's too many parts of the American landmass to be worried about. I'm worried about where my ancestors have been and always been since time immemorial, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We niggas been here before anybody came here. It was us on, on the mainland. On the mainland here, our northern, southern, Midwest, and Western ancestors cook the exact same foods. I'm just leaving that right there. Hey, y'all, here's that number, Luke. Write it down. Right here on the mainland, our ancestors cooked the exact same foods, no matter what part of the mainland you are from. Whether you from down south, in the Midwest, in Ohio and all that, where the Midwest is, and over in the West, well, California and all that, that's the West. And here in the North, we all cook the same food. All of us. Right here on the mainland, our Thanksgiving dinners are the exact same menu. Give me a one if I know what the hell I'm talking about. Our Thanksgiving dinners, even though Thanksgiving was a horrible holiday, our Thanksgiving meals is the exact same menu. Macaroni, cheese, collard greens, turkey, stuffing, same meal all across the whole fucking mainland North map. Chitlins, same meal, same agenda, same goddamn menu. None of that our Thanksgiving meals are African dishes. We cook food in this land. We eat rice with every damn meal, mashed potatoes, our starches, all the same. Our meals are the same. And all of these areas of the on the mainland, northern, southern, Midwest, Western, we cook fried chicken, fried pork chops, meatloaf, spaghetti, same meals, ribs, barbecue ribs. We cook the same food on this whole landmass, mainland. That's a fact. Okay. We never have to walk on our land with green cards. Ever. This is what you need to know about the mainland Indians on the mainland. We never, ever had to walk or had to walk on our land with no damn green cards. We were never, ever put through a naturalization process like people not from this land have. We never left our land to go to other countries for a life. Our ancestors were always here and they died here and they continue to repeat, same us. We are a very distinct brown skin race of people on the landmass from all others that come here. Our energies connect. We can be blind folded and know the energy of the soul or species from this soil. That's it. Which what I want you to know. Our ancestors never passed down the story from the 1600s that our ancestors came here on slave ships because we did not. We are only race of people on the planet Earth with so many racial identities, all being false identities of us. I'm just keeping it about. Now let's get it. I'm just gonna be very tedious with this before we move into because I like to get the Pan African soul. When Africans come over here from Africa, none of them have the identity of Aborigines, Indians, coloreds, mulattoes, Negroes, Afro Americans, blacks, or African Americans. Just us, and none of them are our true identities but Aborigines and Indians. Those are the closest to what we can digest because we are the Aborigines of this land. We are not all the other 8 that they can try to name us. We are the Aborigines to this mainland soil. We're the only people here who had all these different racial names given politically. Nobody else. Just us. People from India don't have any of these racial identities over here. People from China. Mm-mm. Just us. And we're all the same people. We have federal government records with these identities on it, except for African American. No federal government records of our ancestors with the race label African American. Nope, don't have that. All the other ones we have federal government records. So, sorry, President Trump and Elon Musk, we have strongly supported you. And to make sure you get in office. And we're only asking that you please do not call us African Americans on news media. That's that's what we're asking Elon Musk and Donald Trump not to do. Please do not call us African Americans because we're not African Americans. We know nothing, Mr. Trump. And I know your party is watching, and I know that you're just trying to be politically correct, even though politically correct is always not the truth. But on behalf of my people across the mainland who actually know who they are, Mr. President and Mr. Elon Musk, can you please stop referring to us as African Americans? We don't know anything about African Americans. All we ever known is our Indian history. The only time Africans existed in our lives that we know of is in the movies and the movie Roots. We don't know anything about Africans, nothing other than what's shown on the TV. And we're not African Americans over here on the mainland. We are actually the Indians that were enslaved. A lot of people, Mr. President, feel that we would be ashamed and it would affect us that we know that our land was taken from us, so we should not call us who we used to be. That's not true. We love who we are and we're not ashamed. But please, Mr. President and Mr. Elon Musk, please don't refer to us as African Americans. Not that we hate Africans at all. We don't. But we just want to be identified as who we are. And we are the American Indians. And it really upsets us when we're linked into a group of people from a landmass we know nothing about, Africa. 99% of us never been to Africa, and we're not going because it's not our land. This is our land, and all we know from time and time of memorial. We were here in 1492 when the Pilgrims came. And please do not call us Africans. We know nothing about that landmass, nor have we have no intentions of learning about it. It's not in our interest. Our only interest is the American soil, which is where we're all at. So, Mr. President, I'm just asking you that. We voted for you and we put you in office, and we're standing on our true identity rather than just so many political identities that they gave us once we were dismantled from our lands and our tribes. Thank you very much in advance. And I know your people are listening, but please respect us. We like to be called American Indians. We're not Native Americans, those are Asians. We didn't come over here from Asian country. We are actually the aborigines of this soil. We were always here and never came here. We are the species from this soil. So, Mr. President, I'm asking for correction. And we're going to be going in many groups in our different states, demanding that the governors of the states respect us for who we are and not lump us in with other brown nations from other countries. Thank you very much. All right, you guys, let's get into Buddha. And I still strongly support you, Mr. President Donald Trump, and Mr. Elon Musk. I will continue to support you. I like your work. I think you're doing a great job. And that's the only favor that we're asking. All right, sweetie, we really like to stand out from other brown cultures. We are the brown culture that really, really support you and put you in office. We're just held down and not seen in the news media because it's purposely done to us. But we really, really like to show our faces that we truly do support you, Mr. Donald Trump and Mr. Elon Musk. We don't feel that you are doing harm to Social Security. Okay. We don't feel you're doing harm to our people. Okay. So we would eventually like the opportunity to be in the public so they could see that which brown people really strongly support Donald Trump and Elon Musk. We do not think like the Democrats think. So we are purposely hiding from the eyes of the public. And we'd really like to be out, but the news media keeps choosing their own specific people that support you. Well, just to let you know, we do support you and Elon Musk and what they're saying about you and Elon Musk. That's not us saying that. Okay, we Aborigines, that's not us saying that. We support you. Continue to do your hard work. Continue with the deportations. It's much needed. Everybody thinks that you're only deporting people from other parts of this landmass. They need to know. They think you're only deporting Mexicans and things of that nature. You need to show how you're deporting Jamaicans and people from other parts of the landmass and other brown people from other brown countries. That needs to be seen a little more because right now they think you're just deporting people with light skin. You need to show that you're deporting people back to Jamaica's. You know, the ones that ran out with the British after the Revolutionary War. Thank you, Mr. President. So let's move on with Buddha's teachings. I'm going to read. Like I said, we're going to start reading now Buddhist Way of Life. We're going to finish this out. And Buddha forgot to get her glasses. I'll be right back. You know, I need my reading glasses. I don't know why they're not in here. I'll be right back, you guys. All right, my babes. Here we go. Got to put on her reading glasses. All right, here we go. Buddhist Way of Life. Although we have taken a human rebirth in this life, this does not mean that we will always be a human being. Until we have thoroughly purified our mind, it is quite possible that after we die, we will be reborn as an animal, as a hungry ghost, or as a hell being. However, if we rely sincerely upon Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we will protect ourselves. We will protect ourselves from the danger of lower rebirth and from all other dangers. Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are called the three jewels because they are very precious. If we realize the danger we are in, develop complete confidence in the power of the three jewels to protect us, and then make a heartfelt determination to rely on the three jewels for the rest of our life, at that moment we enter the Buddhist path and become a Buddhist. Once we become a Buddhist, we have the opportunity to accomplish all the spiritual realizations of the Buddhist path. From the realization of relying on a spiritual guide through to the path of no more learning or Buddhahood. This book is hot, I'm telling you. From this, we can see that we are two main causes of going for refuge to the three jewels, realizing the danger we are in and developing conviction in the power of the three jewels to protect us from this danger. To generate the first cause in our mind, we need to become convinced of the possibility of our being reborn as an animal, a hungry spirit, or a hell being. We can do this by considering the following reasoning. When we die, our mind has to leave this present body, which is just a temporary abode, and find another body, rather like a bird leaving one nest to fly to another. Our mind has no freedom to remain and no choice about where to go. We are blown to the place of our next rebirth by the winds of our karma. If the karma that ripens at our death time is negative, we will definitely take a lower rebirth. Heavy negative karma causes rebirth in hell. Less negative karma causes rebirth as a hungry spirit. And the least negative karma causes rebirth as an animal. It is very easy to commit heavy negative karma. For example, simply by swatting a mosquito out of anger, we create the cause to be reborn in hell. Throughout this and all other countless previous lives, we have committed many heavy negative actions. Unless we have already purified these actions by practicing sincere confession, their potential their potentialities remain in our mental continuum, and any one of these negative potentialities could ripen when we die. Bearing this in mind, we should think, if I die today, where will I be tomorrow? It is quite possible that I will find myself in an animal realm among the hungry spirits or in hell. If someone were to call me a stupid cow today, I would find it difficult to bear, but will I do it? But what will I do if I actually become a cow, a pig, or a fish? We should contemplate this until we generate a strong fear of taking rebirth in the lower realms. This fear is the first main cause of going for refuge to the three jewels. More reasons establishing the possibility of rebirth in the lower realms can be found in Joyful Path of Good Fortune. To develop the other main cause of going for refuge, a conviction that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha have complete power to protect living beings from lower rebirth, we should contemplate as follows. The actual refuge is Dharma. As mentioned earlier, Dharma is Buddha's teachings and our own inner experience of these teachings. It is our Dharma, our own spiritual realizations, that directly protect us from taking rebirth in the lower realms. How is this? The cause of lower rebirth is negative actions. How is this? The cause of lower rebirth is negative actions, which we commit because our mind is under the influence of delusions. By practicing Buddhist teachings, we become familiar with special virtuous states of mind that are the direct opposite of these delusions. As our virtuous minds become more powerful, our delusions naturally become weaker. For example, as our experience of love increases, our hatred decreases. As our ability to rejoice in others' good fortune improves, our jealousy diminishes. As our negative minds become weaker, we stop committing the negative karma that causes us to take rebirth in the lower realms. This is how our inner experience of Dharma protects us from the danger of lower rebirth. If we train in the more advanced Buddhist practices described later in this book, particularly in the wisdom realizing emptiness, eventually we will gain a direct experience of ultimate truth, emptiness, and thereby permanently eradicate all our delusions. Once our mind is completely free from delusions, we will liberate from all suffering forever. Whereas Dharma is the actual refuge, Buddha is the source of all refuge. He is the supreme spiritual guide who shows us the way to attain Dharma realizations and who sustains our Dharma practice by bestowing his blessings. The Sangha are the supreme spiritual friends who support our Dharma practice. They provide conducive conditions, encourage us in our practice, and set a good example for us to follow. Only the three jewels have the ability to protect living beings from all sufferings. If we contemplate these points carefully, we will generate a strong conviction that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha have complete power to protect living beings from lower rebirth and from all fear and suffering. This conviction is the second main cause of going for refuge. With these two main causes firmly established in our mind, we should pray every day to the three jewels by reciting the following refuge prayer. All Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and holy beings, please protect me and all living beings from the various sufferings, fears, and dangers of samsara. Please bestow your blessings on our body and mind. I like that prayer. All Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and holy beings, please protect me and all living beings from the various sufferings, fears, and dangers of samsara and the United States. Please bestow your blessing upon our body and mind. In this prayer, Buddha refers to Buddha jewel and Bodhisattva only holy beings. To the Sangha jewel, the assembly of superior beings who have realized ultimate truth directly. We recite this verse. We imagine that in front of us is the living Buddha, Shaky Yamuni, surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like the full moon surrounded by stars. We generate a strong conviction that all these holy beings are actually present before us and develop strong faith in them. When we recite the words, please protect me, while concentrating on their meaning, we are familiarizing our mind with renunciation, the wish to release ourselves from various sufferings, fears, and dangers of United States. Samsara, it says, but I say United States. When we recite all living beings, we are familiarizing our mind with great compassion, the wish to release all other living beings from these sufferings, fears, and dangers. When we recite the last line, we are requesting the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and the holy beings to bless us so that the realizations of renunciation and great compassion will grow within our mind. These realizations are Dharma jewels. In summary, by reciting this verse while contemplating its meaning, we are establishing within our mind the special Dharma jewels of the realizations of renunciation and great compassion by receiving the blessings of the Buddha jewel and the Sangha jewel. This is the real meaning of going for refuge to the three jewels. If we are able to remember this practice when we die, we will definitely be protected from the rebirth in the lower realms. The foundation of the Buddhist way of life is to go for refuge to the three jewels from the depths of our heart every day and to keep purely the 12 commitments of going for refuge. These are explained in Appendix 1. The essential meaning of the commitments is that we should have complete faith and confidence in the three jewels and live in accordance with the laws of karma. Abandoning non-virtuous actions such as killing and stealing, and practicing virtuous actions such as maintaining a compassionate mind toward human beings and animals alike. Anyone who wishes to follow the Buddhist path should become thoroughly familiar with these 12 commitments. Now, we're going to move into part 2, the path of liberation. If anyone has any objections or are not into Buddha, I only ask that you just not watch this segment until this is only for the interest of people who are interested in the Buddhist teachings. Okay, I will not take any teachings from the chat room. I'm reading a book, and if you don't like the book or what's being dished out, leave the chat room. Seriously, we have 991 people in here. And if you're not interested in the Buddhist teachings, then just don't watch it. But right now we have 991. If you feel like you want to teach, get a YouTube channel and go teach the shit you know. Don't wait to come to my channel and try to and try to teach. Okay? Because I'm not asking that. I'm only asking to share with like-minded people in my chat and everybody that's watching that have like minds. Okay, this teachings is for the like minds. The unlike minds, please go visit another YouTube channel. And because I'm going to ask my moderators to time out people that don't have a wrench, that have negative behavior towards us, me trying to put out information that's going to help my community. So if they have negative responses in the chat, time their ass out for 24 hours or whatever, and then they'll understand that we're not in here to accept their advice. We're here to read beginners understanding Buddhism. I will not take disrespect. Go protect the Holy Bible, because we're not reading that. We're reading Buddha. All right. So I'll give a 60-second break because I have to do my little Buddha thing where I breathe for 30 seconds to prevent me from cussing somebody out. So give me 30 seconds. Okay, let's get it. Part two. Now we're in part two. We're literally in the middle of the book. I love it. The Path to Liberation. Moderators, anybody with me too, am original. I love the Buddhist philosophy too. That's why I chose to read it. I choose to read more important things that's going to impact lives on my channel. And yeah. So, Path to Liberation. What is liberation? Liberation is a permanent inner peace attained through the complete abandonment of delusions. And we already told you what delusions were. When, through training in the paths to liberations, our mind is completely released from delusions. The ultimate nature of our mind becomes a liberation or a nirvana. From that moment on, we are free from United States, samsara, and all its sufferings. We have become a foe destroyer, a person who has destroyed the inner enemies of attachment, hatred, and self grasping ignorance. As mentioned earlier, 49 days after Buddha attained enlightenment, he was requested by Brahma and Indra to turn the wheel of Dharma. The first teaching Buddha gave was the Sutra of the Four Noble Truths, in which he explained about true sufferings, true origins, true cessations, and true paths. Samsaric rebirth, such as our present rebirth, is called true suffering because it is the basis of all other suffering and delusions. Delusions and actions motivated by delusions are called true origins. Because they are the origin or source of all sufferings, liberation is called a true cessation because it is a permanent cessation of delusions and sufferings. The path that lead us to liberation are called true paths because by following these paths, we attain true cessations, Buddha said. You should know sufferings. You should know abandoned origins. You should attain cessations. You should meditate on paths. The meaning of this is that we should first understand that samsaric rebirth is the nature of suffering and develop renunciation for it. Then we should abandon the delusions and negative actions that are the source or origin of samsaric rebirth and all its sufferings and make our human life meaningful by attaining liberation. To attain this permanent cessation of suffering, we should practice the path to liberation. Shout out to the 1,035 people watching. The Four Noble Truths can be understood and practiced on many different levels, directly or indirectly. All Dharma practices are included within the practice of the Four Noble Truths. At a basic level, we can begin the practice of the Four Noble Truths by reflecting on the sufferings caused by anger. Anger destroys both peace of mind and peace in the world. The root cause of the two world wars and all of the wars being fought in various parts of the world today is anger. On a smaller scale, anger destroys our personal relationships, our reputation, and the harmony within families and communities. Most of the arguments and most of the day today difficulties we experience with our family, friends, and colleagues are due to anger. The root of our future happiness is our virtuous karmic potentialities. the positive energy produced by our past virtuous actions that we carry in our mental continuum. Anger destroys the potentialities and thereby robs us of the good effects of our virtuous actions. Moreover, through causing us to commit heavy negative actions, anger can even throw us into the fires of hell in future lives. Nothing harms us more than anger. Recognizing the terrible and unnecessary sufferings that arise from anger, we should develop renunciation for them and then strive to abandon their cause, the mind of anger, by practicing patience. In this way, we can attain a cessation of anger. The sufferings caused by anger are true sufferings. Anger itself is a true origin. The practice of patience is a practice of true paths. And the permanent cessation of anger is a true cessation. We can also apply the same principles to the sufferings caused by attachment and ignorance. More details on the Four Noble Truths and how to overcome anger can be found in How to Solve Our Human Problems. Developing renunciation. Whenever we are born in samsara, even in the highest God realm, there is no freedom from suffering. Certainly, the human realm is not free from suffering. We have only to look around us, read a newspaper, or watch television to see that human beings experience terrible sufferings. Moreover, if we succeed in taking rebirth in the fortunate realms, it is only like taking a short holiday. Afterwards, once again, we once again have to descend to the lower realms where we experience extreme suffering for inconceivably long periods. We experience all these sufferings because we are in samsara. If we think deeply about this, we will realize that if we want real freedom and real happiness, we must escape from samsara. To escape from samsara, we must cut its roots by eradicating self grasping from our mental continuum. To escape from samsara, we must cut its roots by eradicating self grasping from our mental continuum. This depends upon training in higher wisdom, which depends on training in higher concentration, which depends on training in higher moral discipline. These three trainings are called higher trainings because they are motivated by renunciation. Therefore, our first step in escaping from samsara is to develop renunciation. We develop renunciation by contemplating the many faults of samsara, such as those set out below. We may wonder why it is necessary to contemplate suffering such as birth, aging, sickness, and death, especially since we have already experienced the first and can do nothing to avoid the others. The reason is that by meditating on these sufferings, we realize that the very nature of samsaric existence is suffering, and that until we escape from samsara, we will have to experience the same pains in life after life. This induces a strong wish to escape from samsara by abandoning its cause, self grasping. This wish is renunciation. There now follows 7 separate contemplations on the sufferings of samsara. It is not necessary to contemplate all these points every time we meditate. Rather, we should contemplate mainly those points that have the greatest impact on our mind and that help us to develop renunciation. When a strong feeling of renunciation arises in our mind, we should refrain from the further analysis and focus our mind single pointedly on this feeling for as long as possible. In these contemplations, we think about the various sufferings experienced in the human realm, but we should bear in mind that the sufferings of other realms are generally worse. Birth. We have to spend the first 9 months of our life cramped inside our mother's womb. At the beginning, the rapid growth of our limbs makes us feel as if we are being stretched out on a rack. And in the latter months of pregnancy, we feel as if we are squashed inside a small water tank full of filthy liquid. We are extremely sensitive to everything our mother does. For example, if she runs, our fragile body is severely jolted. And if she drinks anything hot, it feels like boiling water scalding our skin. During all this time, we are completely alone. Our mother does not know the suffering and fear that we experience. And even if she did, she would be powerless to help us. When we finally emerge from the womb, it is like being forced through a narrow crevice between two hard rocks into a harsh and alien world. We have forgotten all we knew in our previous life and have no way of understanding what is now happening to us. It is as if we were blind, deaf, and dumb. Our skin is so tender that even the softest cloths feel abrasive. We are hungry. We cannot stay. Okay. We are hungry. We cannot say, I need food. Okay. When we are hungry, we cannot say, I need food. And when we are in pain, we cannot say, this is hurting me. The only signs we can make are hot tears and furious gestures. We are completely helpless and have to be taught everything: how to eat, how to sit, how to walk, and how to talk. Aging. As we grow old, our youthful vitality diminishes. We become bent, ugly, and burdened with illness. Our eyesight becomes weaker and our hearing fails. We cannot derive the same enjoyment from the things we used to enjoy, such as food, drink, and sex. We are too weak to play games, and we are often too exhausted even for entertainments. When we are young, we can travel around the whole world, but when we are old, we can hardly walk to our own front door. We become too weak to engage in many worldly activities, and our spiritual activities are often curtailed. For example, we cannot make any prostrations or travel far to receive teachings. If we meditate, we find it harder to gain realizations because our memory and concentration are weak, and we find it difficult to stay awake. Our intellect is less sharp than it was during our youth. And so when we try to study, it takes much longer to understand things. Unable to do the work we used to do or to help others in the way we'd like to, we begin to feel useless to society and start to lose our self respect. We are often neglected by our own children, and we watch helplessly as one by one our friends and contemporaries grow sick and die. Inexorably, our loneliness deepens. If we did not practice Dharma while we were younger and had the opportunity, we pass our few remaining years with a growing fear of death and a deepening sense of regret for a wasted life. Now that's aging. Sickness. Shout out to the wow, now it's 1,157 people watching that. I guess folks really like this. Hey, Curious, Capra Engine. Hey, y'all. Now we're reading about sickness. Having been born as a human being, it is almost impossible to escape having to experience sickness in this life. When we fall ill, we are like a bird that has been soaring in the sky and suddenly not shot down. When a bird is shot, it falls straight to the ground like a lump of lead, and all its glory and power are immediately destroyed. Even a mild illness can be completely incapacitating. We cannot enjoy the food we like or take part in the activities of our friends. We may be told that we must never again eat our favorite food, drink alcohol, or engage in strenuous exercise. It is our disease, it is more serious. If our disease is more serious, we may have to undergo painful and possibly risky operations. Should these fail, we will be told that the doctors can do nothing to cure us and that we have only a short time left to live. If we have not used our life to practice Dharma, we will be overcome by fear and regret. Young people in their prime may be struck down by an incurable degenerative illness, and though they remain alive for many years, they will have to watch themselves slowly deteriorate. Realizing that their most treasured hopes and dreams will never be fulfilled, they may wish they could die sooner. When we hear or read about the honorable diseases, check that out. When we hear or read about the horrible diseases experienced by others, we must remember that the same could happen to us. While we remain samsara, we are never safe from the threat of sickness, death. Death. If during your life we have worked hard to acquire possessions and have become very attached to them, we will experience great suffering when we are separated from them at the time of death. Even now, we find it difficult to lend one of our most treasured possessions to someone else, let alone to give it away. No wonder we become so miserable when we realize that in the hands of death, we must abandon everything. When we die, we have to part from even our closest friends. We have to leave our partner, even though we may have been together for many years and never spent a day apart. If we are very attached to our friends, we will experience great misery at the time of death. But all we will be able to do is to hold their hands. We will not be able to halt the process of death, even if they plead with us not to die. Usually, when we are very attached to someone, we feel jealous if he or she leaves us on our own and spends time with someone else. But when we die, we will have to leave our friends with others forever. If we have children, we will have to leave them when we die. We will have to leave our spiritual friends and all the people who have helped us in this life. When we die, this body that we have cherished and cared for in so many ways will have to be left behind. It will become mindless like a stone and will be buried in the ground or cremated. If we have not practiced Dharma and cultivated virtuous actions at the time of death, we will develop fear and distress as well as bodily pain. Having to part with what we like. Before the final separation at the time of death, we often have to experience temporary separation from the people and things we like. We may have to leave our country where all our friends and relatives live, or we may have to leave the job we like. We may lose our reputation. Many times in this life, we have to experience to the misery of parting from the people we like or forsaking and losing the things we find pleasant and attractive. But when we die, from all we have to part forever from all the companions and enjoyments of this life. Next topic. Having to encounter what we do not like. We are often forced to live or work with people whom we find unpleasant, such as those who criticize us for no reason, or with those who continually interfere with our wishes. Sometimes we may find ourselves in a very dangerous situations, such as in a fire or an earthquake, or attacked by a mugger or a rapist. If our country goes to war, we may be called up to fight or be imprisoned if we refuse. Our homes may be bombed or our relatives killed. Our lives are full of less extreme situations that we find annoying. On holiday, it rains, but back in the office, the heat is stifling. Our business fails, or we lose our job, or we use up all our savings. We argue with our partner, our children cause us many worries, and old friends suddenly turn against us. Whatever we do, something always seems to be wrong. Even in our Dharma practice, we continually meet obstacles. When we sit down to meditate, we are distracted by outside noise. The telephone rings or someone comes to see us. Sometimes it seems that even though we have been practicing Dharma for years, our delusions are stronger than ever. Even though we try so hard to be considerate, sometimes our family or our friends become unhappy about our Dharma practice. It is as if we were living in a thorn bush. Whenever we adjust ourselves to make ourselves more comfortable, the thorns only pierce us more deeply. In samsara, aggravation and frustration are the natural state of affairs. Failing to satisfy our desires. We have countless desires. Many cannot be fulfilled at all, and others, when fulfilled, do not bring us the satisfaction for which we hope. Many people are unable to satisfy even modest desires for the basic necessities of life, such as adequate food, clothing, shelter, companionship, tolerable work, or a degree of personal freedom. Unfortunately, even if these basic needs are met, our desires do not end there. Soon we need a car or more luxurious home, a better paid job. In the past, a simple holiday at the seaside may have been sufficient, but our expectations continually increase, and now we need expensive holidays abroad. Ambition and competitiveness are a common cause of dissatisfaction. The ambitious schoolchild content cannot rest content until he or she comes up top of the class, nor the businessman until he has made his fortune. Clearly, not everyone can be at the top. For one person to win, others must lose. But even the winners are rarely satisfied for long. Their ambition drives them on until they too are beaten, worn out, or dead. Another reason why we fail to satisfy our desires is that they are often contradictory. For example, we may want both worldly success and simple life, or fame and privacy, or rich food and a slim figure, or excitement and security. We may demand our own way all the time and still expect to be popular, or we may wish for Dharma realizations that yet still covet a good reputation and material wealth. Our desires often involve other people, and this creates special complications. Many relationships break up because of unrealistic expectations and desires. We seek perfection, the perfect society, the perfect home, the perfect partner, but perfection cannot be found in samsara. Samsara promises much but can never deliver real satisfaction. It is not possible for impure, transient objects to provide the lasting joy we seek. This can be attained only by thoroughly purifying our mind. Ignorance is the fundamental cause of samsara, but worldly desires are the fuel that perpetuates it. Therefore, we need to reduce our worldly desires by recognizing their faults. By contemplating these 7 types of suffering, we will come to the following conclusions. I have experienced these sufferings over and over again in the past, and if I do not attain liberation, I will have to experience them over and over again in the future. Therefore, I must escape from samsara. When this thought arises clearly and definitely in our mind, we meditate on it for as long as possible. If we do this meditation again and again, eventually the wish to attain liberation from samsara will arise spontaneously day and night. At that time, we will have attained the actual realization of renunciation and entered the actual path to liberation. Every action motivated by renunciation is a cause for attaining liberation. If we have some experience of renunciation, we can transform our everyday activities into the path of liberation by maintaining the intention to benefit others and mentally dedicating the virtue of our actions to our own and others. Liberation from samsara. When we meet with difficult circumstances or see others experiencing difficulties, we should use this to remind ourselves of the disadvantages of samsara. When things are going well, we should not be deceived, but recall the samsaric pleasures are short-lived and snare us if we become attached to them. In this way, we can use all our experiences daily life to strengthen our determination to escape from samsara and attain liberation. Woohoo! So that's some really great reading. I cannot believe we went that far. We did it, y'all. We read, and the beauty of this, people can go back and re-listen to it and get this in their brains, especially if they purchased the book. But I cannot believe we read Developing Renunciation. Yay! So we read the last chapter in part 1, which was Buddhist Way of Life. And in part 2, we read The Path to Liberation and Developing Renunciation. Now we getting it in, y'all. The next readings that we're going to do is tomorrow we'll do, if Brother Sanchez don't have me on his channel, we'll do the 3 higher trainings. And then we go to part 3. You know what? I'm going to read the 3 higher trainings so that we could just start in part 3, the path to enlightenment. Yeah, I'll read that now. So give me a 1 to 2 minute break and I'll read it, because the 3 higher trainings is the last of part 2. So we'll start tomorrow or Friday with part 3. Oh, we getting it in, y'all. So give me a minute. Go get a water, you guys, and I'll be right back. I didn't realize, look at this, only 1:30. I mean, it's only 4:30, so this is awesome. I'll be right back, you guys. Let's see, what do we have? All right. So let's get it. Hey, David. Hey, I got some other jazz songs that I download. I gotta oh goodness. I did put the name curious. If you're in there, I'm gonna try and email it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try and do it right now. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Um um ay ay ay. All right, where it says music. Give me a minute, because I've been promising Curious this song for a minute, and I gotta see where I put it. All my music. Yep, it's right here, and it's called um. New like new laws, nerd. What type? Oh, that's not it. Hmm. Hang on, my loves. I should have some music in here. Oh, I know where it's at. I know exactly where it's at. I believe it's on my main thing. I had a folder. Yep, here it is. Songs. Her name, Jazz. I got it. Chief Curtis. Ah, copy. Damn it. Here we go. This better work, or I'm gonna be mad. Ah, 3, 4, 5. No. Let's see if it works. Uh-oh. Curious. I'm gonna see if this works. Oh, it was sent. Curious. So check your email, and it should be there, brother. It worked. Yee-hoo. All right, so let's get back to. All right, Curious. I emailed it to you. Those songs that you've been waiting for. All right, let's read the last chapter. We already did this. Yep. The last chapter in part 2. It's called The Three Higher Trainings. Wow, 1,065 people. Okay, here we go. The three higher trainings, what Buddha says. As mentioned before, the actual paths to liberation from samsara are the three higher trainings: higher moral discipline, higher concentration, and higher wisdom. They are called higher trainings because they are practiced with the motivation of renunciation. To attain liberation, we need to abandon self grasping, the root of samsara, by attaining a special wisdom directly realizing emptiness or selfishness. This attainment depends on a special type of concentration known as tranquil abiding, which in turn depends upon pure moral discipline. Moral discipline helps to pacify our distractions. The main obstacle to attaining the concentration of tranquil abiding makes our mind stable, lucid, and powerful. And wisdom, realizing emptiness, directly opposes self grasping ignorance. Therefore, if we practice moral discipline, concentration, and wisdom with the motivation of renunciation, we will definitely be able to destroy our self grasping and attain liberation from samsara. Training in higher moral discipline. In general, moral discipline is a virtuous mental determination to abandon any thought or a bodily or verbal action motivated by such a determination. We practice moral discipline whenever we put this determination into practice. If our practice of moral discipline is not motivated by renunciation, it will cause us to attain higher rebirth within samsara, such as rebirth as a human or a god. But if our practice of moral discipline is motivated by renunciation, it will lead to the attainment of liberation from samsara. This is why moral discipline practice with the motivation of renunciation is called higher moral discipline. Higher moral discipline is an actual path to liberation. The pure practices of ordination vows, the Bodhisattva vows, and the tantric vows are all included within training in higher moral discipline, and all are paths to liberation. Training in higher concentration. Pure concentration is a mind whose nature is to be single pointedly placed on a virtuous object and whose function is to prevent distraction. Concentration practice with the motivation of renunciation is higher concentration and is an actual path to liberation. Whenever we engage in meditation and the motivation of renunciation, we are training in higher concentration. There are many levels of concentration. To attain a direct realization of emptiness, the ultimate nature of reality, we need the concentration of tranquil abiding. Tranquil abiding is a concentration that possesses a special type of suppleness attained by progressing through 9 levels of concentration called the 9 mental abidings. When we have attained tranquil abiding, our mind is very stable, clear, and powerful. And so it is very easy for us to attain Dharma realizations. A detailed explanation of how to attain tranquil abiding can be found in the Joyful Path of Good Fortune. So I want to write all these books down in case you have interest. Training in higher wisdom. In general, wisdom is a virtuous mind that functions mainly to dispel doubt and confusion by understanding its object thoroughly. Among the many different types of wisdom, the wisdom that realizes emptiness, the ultimate nature of phenomena, is supreme. Whenever we meditate on emptiness with the motivation of renunciation, we are training in higher wisdom. If we train in higher wisdom, eventually our mind will be released from all delusions, including self grasping ignorance, and we will attain liberation from samsara. Anyone who practices these 3 higher trainings is said to be maintaining Buddha Dharma by means of realization. There are 2 ways to maintain Buddha Dharma: by means of scripture and by means of realization. We maintain Buddha Dharma by means of scripture when we listen to, read, or study Dharma. And we maintain Buddha Dharma by means of realization when we actually put these instructions into practice and gain realization. Boom. We finished. Wow. Unbelievable. So we'll do part 3 tomorrow. Tomorrow. So I I find this book to be very enlightening, and I am going to begin practicing. But after I finish reading this book, I have to read it again because I like to take my notes, type my notes, so that when I begin the heavy meditation, I remember and recall to thinking about getting rid of the samsara and those steps. So I know what to think about when I'm meditating. So I never read when you're reading a book of instruction that's trying to get you to undoctrinate yourself, you got to read it more than one time. Even if you come back and listen to it on YouTube, but it's always really better to purchase the book because it's really dirt cheap on Amazon. And I personally would get a used one. And if you get used books, they're normally cheaper. And I read it a couple of times. Me reading to you, it helps people that's driving. We have a lot of people watching live. We have 1,135 people watching. And some of them are driving, some of them are just getting ready to go in their jobs. And this gets them through the day. So they're listening. And so this is what the YouTube part of it is. But I strongly encourage you to go and purchase this book and reading it over by yourself and never read it one time and highlight notes, highlight, instruction. When it gives you instruction, you need to highlight it in this book. And then what I do, I go back after highlighting everything because I catch everything that you're supposed to be doing when you're meditating. I highlight everything in the book as I go along. And then what I do, I go back and I open the book and I type everything that I highlighted so that when I am meditating, I'm learning how to meditate and what I should be meditating about. And what I was trying to explain to Superman is this type of instruction for getting yourself on the correct path to making space within yourself and getting rid of things and clearing your mind from obstructive things that causes anger and all those different things. I did not find that instruction in the Bible. I think this is more to the point. It's not all the shouting and all the music. To me, that's very distracting and annoying. When I want to learn something, I need peace. I don't want to hear drums and things like I'm in a nightclub. I really need peace. To me, when you're trying to um when you are trying to um do things and in a great order and you're trying to study a way of life that's going to keep you on a really great path, you need peace. And not music and offering plates going around. That's very distracting. And singing, I don't like singing when you're trying to focus and concentrate. It's distraction when you hear music. That's very distracting. I need peace. You need peace and quiet so that you can concentrate on the instruction that you're given. And when someone's lecturing, hearing an organ in the background is very distracting to me. I like to if you're lecturing and trying to teach people how to um look within themselves, I don't need music and bangles playing in the background. I need peace and quiet. Now I have the book and I have the peace. You have the peace and quiet. And that's a fact. The word you write am original. These are very powerful. I can't get that out of a King James Version Bible. It's very distracting and it's all it's just not for me. It's just a book not for me. Now I'm not bashing Christianity, but it just did not work for me. This is more instructional and it has a lot to do with the individual rather than people as a whole. The individual can sit and learn this and practice the behaviors that it suggests you to practice. And you practice it until you're perfect. You practice it when you're dealing with people until you've perfected it. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't need music in the background and no one just to come up and sing and play a piano. That's annoying to me because I'm very serious and I don't like to be distracted when I'm trying to concentrate. Concentration is a very, very important thing. Concentrating is a very, very important thing. And I wish as children we had something like this to instruct us on how to properly concentrate. Because for so long we concentrate, and when you concentrate, you can practice concentration until you perfect it. And how you know you perfect concentration is if somebody comes to interrupt you and you just, or somebody standing to talk to you, talking and being very distracted, you can block them out as though they're not even there. That's when you know you perfect it. When you can just block it out and it doesn't distract you. So I don't need to be in a congregation with a bunch of people in order to clean myself out, um, unindoctrinate myself, focusing on concentration and breathing. I don't need a crowd with me to do that. I don't. You do not. What I want is to be able to perfect it and then go out and practice it on people, on my daily interactions with people, period. And, you get more respect from people when you practice this when you're dealing with people. Because a lot of us don't know how to deal with other people in other cultures. And that's not good. I like understanding other cultures because I just feel like with other cultures, like, it's not like here. And what we got here that we're practicing is not from here. And Buddhism is older than all the other religions. So I like it. I don't like being in no cult religions. So this is more comforting to me. I don't know about anybody else. But that's all what I can do. What I will do is open up the panel if anybody has anything they want to say, because tomorrow we move into part 3, which is so awesome, man. I can't believe we went through this. Part 3, which is the path to enlightenment, becoming a Bodhisattva. Boy, it's got some really interesting books. Interesting. The Buddhist Way of Life. And we'll cover the perfection of patience. We all need all these different things in our life. And this is what I like. So I know after I read this on YouTube, I'm going to be at night reading it. And see, I fly through it at night when I'm reading alone with no distractions. And I'll be doing my highlights. So I'll be reading it again. So I like to type up the instructions given and then upload it on our website so people be able to have my highlights. And I'll snap a picture of the book cover so people can purchase the book. Yeah, maybe he's watching my live and he'll pop up on the panel. But anyway, I'm putting the link in the chat. Paste. And I'll put it there in case anybody wants to come up and dialogue what I spoke about today. So I'll wait for you guys to come up. I'll play some music for a while. If nobody pops up, I'll just end the show. And I love y'all. If nobody pops up within like 10 minutes, I'll end the show and see everyone tomorrow. Love you and thank you for spending this time with me. But feel free to hit the link that's pinned to the top if you want to really discuss your feelings about Buddhism. So I'll wait 10 minutes. Superman, you can hit the link and bring your butt on the panel so I can tell you how I feel about Buddha. Cause you hating now. Cause we got Buddha. That's a good question. Not a coincidence. I don't know. This is my first time ever studying Buddhism, this very book. I don't know the difference between Buddhism and Hinduism. I truly don't. But I guess later in the future I'll learn the difference if there's a difference. But for now, for the first time in my life, I'm studying Buddhism, and I like the direction it's given. So if you know anything about Hinduism, you're welcome to come on the panel and tell us a little bit about it. But I'm learning about Buddhism now. But the link is pinned to the top. Anybody that want to come up, I'll wait 10 minutes. And if no one wants to come on the panel, I'll just end the show. Love y'all. Hey, Super. I put on my headphones.
Good afternoon, Buddhist.
Hello, Lucifer. How are you?
Good afternoon, Buddhist. Sister Betty.
Good afternoon, Lucifer. How are you? Are you here to kill, steal, and destroy?
No, just pillage and plunder.
Well, we had a great session today, and I can't believe we're so far in the book. Of course, I'm gonna have to read it over again, but I have to be perfectly honest with you, um, Superman. I know you said don't compare it to Christianity because it's all the same, but to me, it's not. It's not the same. At least it doesn't appear to be the same, and we're halfway through the book. The style, the teaching is nothing like Christianity. It's actually better. And yeah.
I enjoyed your reading today. So in practice, how are you going to put these lessons into practice?
Well, the way I put lessons into practice, what I would do is go to each section of the book that has a title and give you an instruction. I would go and highlight the things that you need to do and focus on according to what's written in there. Like for instance, if I'm going to sit there and I'm meditating, what your mind should be focusing on, I'm gonna highlight it, and they give you examples so that when people read my notes, they'll see, okay, I'm gonna meditate. I have these highlighted notes to focus on what I should do. Like if they going through a situation with anger or negativity, they know what they need to do to get rid of samsara and how to perfect it. So my highlights, I'll type it up, and I'll have that area meditation. This is what you should be thinking about, because a lot of people, just like, they don't know how to pray, so they go to the church so people pray over them. But here, I don't want to go through. This doesn't tell me that I can't learn how to meditate. They give you examples on what you should focus on according to what you're going into your life, going through in your life to get rid of the samsara. So when you're meditating, focus on this. So that'll help them. Now we all have the ability to do the things that Buddha's teaching, but what we're working on is based on their teachings how to enhance and those abilities that we have, such as I don't have to go to no anger management class. It teaches you, okay, this is what I got to do because I'm really angry today, and how do I get this out of me? Somebody really pissed me off, and I'm ready to take their head off. How am I? What do I need to do now to correct that so I don't have those thoughts every time I see this person? Those things. So he gives great examples on how to defeat those things when you're meditating and until you perfect it and it no longer bothers you anymore. What is that? Does that sound like, chat room, that I make sense based on what he is instructing?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, what is your understanding of what samsara is?
Well, it's a lot of things. I guess the all the bad things that you want to get out of you. Any bad thing that approaches you. I mean, right? Any difficulties that you can't get out your mind, or anything that invades your space, any negative thing anyway.
Let's Google it so we can get a deeper understanding of it.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, he does have the answer in his book. All right, it's saying, and this is great because then people, if they're watching what I'm doing now, they'll go and do it if they're like really stuck on what something is. So I just quickly AI'd it. In Buddhism, samsara, Sanskrit, or cycle of existence refers to the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth driven by karma, where beings are reborn based on their actions and desires. And the goal is to escape this cycle and achieve nirvana. So now they got to go, even though he gave an explanation of what samsara is, he also gave an explanation of what nirvana is. So now, if you're achieving nirvana, you need to find out what nirvana is. So let's go up here and replace this with this. What that is. So he's following me, guys. In Buddhism, nirvana or nibbana in Pali is the ultimate state of enlightenment, characterized by the cessation of suffering, the end of the cycle of rebirth, which is samsara, and freedom from greed, hatred, and ignorance. So we're freeing ourselves from our cycle of rebirth, from freedom, free, freedom from greed, hatred, and ignorance. How is that?
Because it's a mind state. um, One is rebirth, meaning you didn't learn the lessons in life, so you got to repeat. Right? You want to escape that repetitive coming back, repeating the same class over and over. Once you do
Okay,
that,
so when you come back, you're perfected and you no longer have to go through that cycle again. And if you do, you're correcting yourself until you're perfect, I guess,
yeah, so to speak, you can think of it that way.
for short term. So whatever you did in a previous life, you're correcting those measures and better learning how to deal with it. So when you come back the next time, You don't have to go through it because you've already defeated defeated what kept you from defeating it. I guess. Can we say that?
So think of it like this: the things that you do in this lifetime, what are they motivated by? Greed, jealousy, envy. Are they motivated by your um, virtue? You know what I'm saying? Virtues
Mm-hmm.
versus vices. So if you're driven by your vices, you're gonna repeat. You're gonna keep coming back, right? And still until you're driven by your virtue, right? It's seven virtues, seven vices,
So when
vices.
you okay, so when you have mastered all of that, is that when you become the Buddha or
So to speak,
um
yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes, so to speak, yes. So, it's seven virtues, right? Patience. They say patience is the virtue.
Mm-hmm.
Different. I mean, we can Google the seven virtues and the seven vices. So
Mm-hmm.
once you are not motivated by the vices and motivated by your virtues, then you will reach Buddhahood. Samsara, you won't have to come back and repeat.
So samsara is the repeating process.
Right.
So
And nirvana is once you complete it, you don't have to repeat anymore.
so you
It's
just
like
keep
heaven and
coming
hell.
back. So you okay, when you defeated samsara, um and you come back, you're just a perfect being.
You don't come back. Once you repeat it, go to another higher realm.
Oh, okay. See, that's the part. And he did mention that. That's why it's so good to read the book twice because it's so much you're taking in. So we are continuously coming back to this lower realm. And in an
Right.
effort to get to the higher realm, you
You
have to
gotta perfect
perfect
it.
everything and do away with everything in the lower realm.
Right. Really, it's perfecting your mind. It's self
Ah,
perfection. Once you no more affected by the vice, right? Let's look at the seven vices.
I haven't got that far in the book yet.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was part of the book.
Oh, I didn't know either. I thought maybe it was.
No, I haven't read the book.
Okay, so I don't know what the seven vices are, but like I said, I have to go back and reread it.
Hmm.
But that's amazing. So now I'm gonna reread the book anyway because now I understand going to the next realm. You can't get there until you overcome all the sufferings in the lower realm and you've mastered to 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 abort it. Mm.
That's from my understanding. You know what I'm saying? Once you read it
But
and get to your understanding,
but that's what the book said. I do recall that the different realms because it did mention the different realms. Wow, amazing. It's interesting where the mind it it goes somewhere else. It has to go somewhere else.
right? Because you're energy. Energy can't be destroyed. So I got to keep moving.
So it moves from one body to the next.
Right. Or it recycles. Right. So say if you perfected, say five out of the seven or how many of them, right? you'll come back in a being that will put those two that you lacking at the forefront.
And once you master it in that, there's no other realm to go, right?
No, that's the higher realm. You don't come back to the lower realm. It's just like going through elementary school. Once you learn everything in elementary school, you don't never have to go back because you got it, right? You know your colors, you
Right.
know your letters. Then you go to middle school. Then you perfect that. Then you go to the high school. You never have to go back below once you perfected that lower level.
Okay. Now it's making more sense to me. It makes better sense. I'm gonna read it again because there's so much great information in that book. And I wish, like I said, that this was something that was introduced to us. They came with those Bibles, and that just never worked for me. I think meditating is much more breathtaking than praying. I feel like when you pray, you're begging. I don't like to beg. I much rather be granted for good deeds rather than beg.
Well, um, that's the discrepancy, but between this and Christianity. Christianity teaches to look outside for an answer. Buddhism teaches to look within so you can solve your own issues.
And that alone makes more sense to me. Because if the problem is with you, it lies within you. Simple.
Right. Once you get these lessons, they do become like simple. Like you be like, yeah, that makes sense. I can go with it.
Yeah. Ah, I'm original. Great. That's great. Praying sends your thoughts outward. Meditation sends them inward. See, I like that. And that makes more sense to me. I like the latter. I like that much better. Hmm. Interesting. Well, I I told you what I thought, and I know I'm only halfway through the book, but the interesting part, Superman, is getting halfway through the book, and even before I was halfway through the book, I felt the huge difference between that and Christianity. What's been indoctrinated in our brains. I think
Have you
the
attempted meditation yet?
no, because I wanted to read the book first. I always read it first, everything through first. I don't like to jump and go too fast. So I'm gonna go back and read it again because right now I'm just reading it to the to the audience in hopes that they purchase the book and follow along and do the same thing that I'm doing. Trying to get people to uh, turn to another method rather than the method that was given to us by evil men that are ruling the world now. Because the way they're ruling the world now is through evil, greed, and everything that Buddha teaches is horrible. They created their own realms. I don't want to go to a realm that evil people created. I want to be in a realm where everybody's pleasant and understand the significance of being, just beautiful people. So I don't like their world. I think even though we have all these wealthy, rich people that they're in the same realm as us. This realm that we're in right now, living today, is a very low realm, even if they're rich. Because if they're only in higher positions on earth, in an earthly realm, they're not in higher realms. They're making what's due here at this lower realm. I think this realm is hell. If you are suffering and things of that nature, you are living in hell. If other people live in better conditions than you, that is hell. I don't believe they're in higher realms because they're rich and famous. Because look at the things that they have to do to people
You,
in order to stay in
you,
those positions.
you said you that this is hell, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Who rules hell?
The evil people that created it.
So once you get that understanding, now what do you got to do?
Um, the meditation that Buddha teaches to get away from it. This is not the world that I want to be in. I don't want to be in a world where I have to hurt people that is beneath me.
But think of it like this: hell is hell, right? Instead
Hmm.
of trying to change hell, get out of it.
Right. I
Right. So
agree. That's what I'm doing. And I just believe that this realm is hell. Even if you have rich and famous people, they haven't even left, but they figured out a way to create their own heaven in hell.
I know, but you still trying to change hell. You
I'm not
can't
changing
change
none.
hell.
I'm changing myself to get away from them.
Right. So once you understand that this is what happens in hell, this is going on. Nothing you
Mm-hmm.
can really do about it. Just get
Right.
out of it. Right.
Correct.
You can't complain about it because that's what goes on in hell. Fuckery goes on in hell. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you in hell, you can't change hell. You can only get out of it. So everything
Right.
that you see in hell is supposed to be that way. So if you see
Right.
people suffering in hell, that's what hell is.
I get it. But the people that are wealthy in hell, that's not the way that they got there is by hurting other people,
That what
stealing
goes on in
stealing
hell.
money. Correct. So I want
Right.
to get
All
away
that
from them.
goes on in hell.
I don't want to be a part of them in hell. So I want to get away from them.
Right. So wealthy
And
people in hell doing hellish things, that's what
hmm
goes on in hell. That's
right.
just the way it is.
Correct. And those are the people that I hate. And at some point, if we all follow these steps, eventually hell could be destroyed.
Hell can't be destroyed. You can't that's what I'm saying. That's a that's a battle you can't win. What goes on in hell stays in hell. You have to leave hell. Instead of trying to destroy it, just get out of it.
Well, the
Evil
reason
has
why I say
always existed.
destroy it, I know. Well, the reason why I say I would rather see it destroyed, and the way to destroy it is if everybody, uh, correct, moves away from hell, there won't be nobody down here in
Yeah,
this
but you
realm.
got to stay in hell to destroy it. You can't destroy it from the outside. So, do you want to stay in hell and work to destroy it, or do you actually want to go to the next level?
I want everybody to go to the next level and leave those that have created hell down here to burn forever, because then they won't have nobody to hurt anymore.
It is wanting everybody to leave hell. Is that a desire?
Yes, because we can all conquer the same great things with
Okay, so
according to Buddha within ourselves and
what
get
does
them
Buddha
out.
say about desire?
What?
What does Buddha say about desire?
Um. Well, it depends on what you're desiring. You're desiring the best.
No,
You're yeah,
it's
because
just desire itself. It's the
desiring the
desire
best,
itself.
if you're desiring the best for everyone else, that's not a bad thing because that's what you want. That promotes um positive energy within you because you're desiring that everybody follows Buddha's instructions so that you can move to the next realm. I My desire is that everybody that's suffering um successfully move to the next realm and leave those that created hell down here.
But you read earlier in a previous chapter about what desire leads to. You that's just the lesson. Either you want it or not. It's on
Yeah,
you.
I no, I but okay, Superman. It also spoke about being loving and sincere to an extent to people instead of being cruel and evil. So a desire for people to follow Buddha's instructions on getting themselves to a higher realm, i- isn't that a positive desire? Because you have negative desires and you have positive desires, right?
No, you only have desire. Desire is desire. There's no
No.
positive and negative.
How can you
I
not
mean,
have negative and positive desires? Jealousy would be a negative desire, and
that's a
hoping that someone drops dead. That's a negative desire. So if I want positive desire for all the people suffering in hell that don't know how to get out, and if they follow the appropriate instructions on working within themselves, I desire that they do that and move to the next realm. That's removing any jealousy or selfishness.
well. I'm just going along with the teachings and my understanding of it. That all desire is the same.
No, you have good desires and bad desires. A good
I
desires,
mean,
okay, a
I'm
good
saying
desire is
inside of the
a
teachings.
good desire is you make love to your wife. A bad desire is you rape your neighbor's wife. Come on now.
I'm saying according to the teaching. I'm staying within the teachings of Buddha. According to the
But
teachings of Buddha, all desire is the same.
okay. Now I have to go back and read and find why where it's noted that our desires are the same. I have to go and look back and read again. I'm reading the book again anyway. But at the end of the day, I really, really, really enjoy the book.
I'm enjoying you enjoying the book. I'm glad you tried,
Huh?
opening up and learning something new. I think most people should do, try to
Yeah.
learn something new.
Yeah. I'm going to start all over again anyway after I read it to the audience because we're almost done reading it. And my point was just to read the book to the audience. We have 1,131 people in here and share the book with them so that they would purchase it and they could read it. So if I could get 1,139 people to purchase this book and read it, it's a great thing. But meanwhile, after I finish reading the entire book to them, then I'm going to go back and read it all over again and begin practicing what's taught in there to work on myself.
Good luck on your journey.
Are you saying that to be sarcastic?
No, no, no. Because you're gonna open up different thought processes in your mind, and you'll see things different than from just one perspective.
Okay. And Brother Sanchez referred another book to me, and Ocean is his last name, and he's well respected over in Asia, and
Hmm.
he's a great teacher of Buddha. So I think I'm gonna look into purchasing that his book, but also Geshe gives some other instructional books on the side that he has that I'm gonna get. So whatever works, I guess the more of them that I get and read, the more educated I'll be in it. I mean, I just started reading on it.
Yeah, you'll develop your own insight.
Did it take you a long time?
I didn't time it. I wasn't like on a schedule or anything.
But you
Cause you
studied
can
it.
still study. You can still study. Like I'm reading another book. I'm into excuse me, a German philosopher
Hmm.
right now. I'm reading his book.
Yeah, I was really great in philosophy. I took that in undergrad. Get A in philosophy. Um, so you don't read any more Buddhist books. You just practice it now without reading it because you studied it long enough where you don't need to get any insight.
Um, I mean, all learning is continual. I'm not gonna say I'm not still learning. Um, I just look into different perspectives of Buddha. You know what I'm saying? It's different philosophers
Okay.
that give their take. Just like the guy you're reading now,
Mm-hmm.
this is his interpretation of the teachings of Buddha, right? So if you just
Okay.
want to go straight to just the teachings and get the principles of it, the principles never change, no matter who perspective that you read. They'll give
Got,
you different anecdotal,
oh,
situations, but
gotcha.
the principles themselves never change.
Okay. Well, that's great to know that the principles don't change. Okay. So that's very helpful information for me because now that tells me that, you know, it's okay to read different philosophers' take on the instruction of Buddhism. So that's
Oh
helpful.
yeah, oh yeah. Never, never, ever, ever go with one person's take, then you become a follower. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
The
Christianity
Bible.
itself is just by itself, but you
Hmm.
have Catholics, you got Baptists, you got Episcopalian. You have all these different viewpoints on the same book, right?
I'm sorry.
You have all these different viewpoints and philosophies about this one book or one teaching. Same with Buddhism.
Okay. See, that's helpful. So I guess what I'll do is read the famous people's because people have really great reputations. So I'll look for people who have really great reputations, like um the ocean guy that Brother Sanchez mentioned. I'll purchase his book, and I'll probably be other books, but I will get into meditating. And but when I do meditate, I don't want to be with other people. I want to be by myself. Like I said, meditating with other people is distracting to me. If I'm going to create my space within and I'm learning how to do that within, I do not want to be around other people. Because I think meditation is something that should be done privately and personal. Just like when I was reading Christian books, prayer, I did not like being in a congregation of people. I thought my prayer to the Most High God was private. So that's the same way I'm taking meditation in the private. Other people's
Yeah.
energy doesn't connect with mine, and I don't connect with theirs. So I'm working on fixing myself. And if I'm working on fixing myself, I don't need to be around other distracting people.
Um. Well, I'll make a suggestion. You don't have to follow it. I would just, after reading this, I would go directly to the boiled down version of just Buddha's teaching and try to understand that, and then get different people's perspective instead of getting people's perspective and then going to just the raw data. You know what I'm saying? If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Look at it myself
Right.
so
So
I
you can
can get
develop your own.
so I can get my own fresh interpretation without the assistance of somebody else. Same thing with the Bible.
Right.
The Bible tells you to lean not to your
That's just
own.
what I suggest. I don't know, you know.
No, it's a good suggestion. It's a good suggestion. I'll read it and I'll read it for myself and see what I come up with and then purchase the other books and look into the other people with great reputation. That'll work too.
Yeah, I don't like
Like
try to push
a
people to.
virgin mind, a virgin
Right.
mind exempt from everybody else's influence.
Right. That eliminate discrepancies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because if you read this guy and you get it and you understand it, then you read the just the raw teachings and you know it don't fit his viewpoint exactly. You know, you kind of like what's going on here.
mhm.
But once you develop your own insight into it, then you'll just know, well, this is the way he sees it, this is the way they see it. I get it, you know, I can use that. Or I didn't see it that way, but I understand that's the way he sees it because of his situation.
Right. I like that copper engine. Make it make sense to me first and then I like that too, Superman. Read it, study it for myself first, and then I can say, okay, now I see why he makes this recommendation or gives this example. I get it.
Yeah, you gotta take the training wheels off. Just go ride it.
There
It'll
you
be all
go.
right. It won't
There
it
you
won't
go.
hurt.
And as far as meditating, they have a lot of Asian YouTube videos where it shows you how to sit, you know, and concentrate. I don't need to go take no class with nobody. They have everything right here on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
When
YouTube
I tell you,
University is
mhm, you could just
YouTube
watch
is
them.
golden. Yeah. You can use it for bullshit or you can use it for actual learning. Like I gotta replace my
Mhm.
gearbox on my truck. I watch videos on YouTube, read some books, go by the part and put it on.
There you go. So that's that. And it's 5:30. I did two and
It's
a half
good. I
hours
like this
today.
journey you on, Sister Betty. Keep you out of
I
trouble.
do too.
Instead of you
Yeah.
outside in the street shooting at people and
You silly. And
you
you
studying
too.
Buddha. Right.
Doing at
Buddha
nighttime when
saves
you're
us
on your
all.
third shift. And at nighttime on your third shift. Hey, Rainwater. Nighttime when you're on your third shift.
Yeah, I'll be off at third shift because I got some shit going. I mean, got some stuff going on. So I'm gonna have to start going to bed at a decent hour, like 1, 2 o'clock.
in
I
the
can get,
morning.
yeah, I can get by on, you know, 5 hours of sleep. I don't like to sleep too much.
I like to get 6 to 8 hours, and I do get that. Now that you ain't gonna be on third shift, it's gonna be
I'm,
dead. It's
I'll
gonna
be
be
around
dead.
sometimes.
It's gonna be mad dead. So I'll just watch it, and well, that's normally what I do anyway. Smoke falls asleep, he goes, and then as soon as you be gone, I hit the button and I'm gone. No need to watch it. I just hope
I'll
he
be
watch.
around, but might not, you know, as much.
I just hope Smoke watches channel because I mean, when people have access to do the share screen, they could really fuck your channel up and get it striped and shit. And
Yeah,
then
I don't
nobody
think
there to
nobody
watch.
has. I don't think nobody has access but Smoke and
And
Bap.
BAP, yeah, I like when BAP is on because he can monitor what's being shared and what you can't. Some people just share and they don't give a damn. I don't trust nobody.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, but anyway, it's his
But all
channel.
those other people have channels too. I don't have a channel. I don't do that. I don't even have social
I
media.
don't watch other people's channel. I watch Smoke, BAP, Dane, and myself. And Chief Holiday ass don't go live no more. I'll do Sanchez too. I do Sanchez. Other than that, I ain't even subscribed to people. I
I'm
unsub-
limited. I watch
Thank he who enlightens, he who is.
far as the Aboriginals or whatever. I only watch like Bap Chief when he was around, but really just you Bap and Smoke. Everybody else, I watch like stock trading channels, tech channels,
mm,
physics channel, philosophy channels.
I do Bruh Sanchez, Dane, Smoke, and Bat. But
Yeah, I
I
gotta limit my
catch
intake
Bat
on
because he come
certain
on
stuff.
during the day, and I be at work, so I can only have it on. But when I'm at work, I can't focus.
Yeah, I just limit my intake on certain things like ice cream. This is like junk food. But then I watch a lot of physics and
Yeah, physics is
new
good.
innovations. The, keep my eye on different markets and different industries. What's going on? What new tech is out? What new materials? New innovation? You know, trading. How to trade? What's the trends? Different financial gurus, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good stuff.
I
All
try to
right,
stay
well,
diverse.
right. Well, I'm about to get out of here. I'm gonna eat my little
Me
dinner
too.
because I did cook. Told you we only
What you
eat.
cook today, Sister Betty?
I cooked baked chicken again. I'm not eating any fried foods, and I only eat chicken, turkey, and fish. And I can eat chicken every day. I love baked chicken, nice and crispy. After you
Well,
drain that
fried
water
food
out,
really ain't bad for you. It's the type of oil that you fry it in.
that's true too. But I just want like to stay away from the fried foods for a while. Like once in a while, eat some fried wings or chicken. I like fried thighs because it got a lot of skin on it.
Hmm.
um, fried
Well,
thighs.
just spend the money on the oil, and then you can have it whenever you want it.
What oil you fry yours in? Peanut oil.
Peanut oil.
Mm,
I mean, once you buy a big gallon jug, you're not gonna use that in a year. So, I
right.
mean, I don't.
No, I like peanut
Me
oil.
personally, I'm not cheap about certain things. Certain things I don't give a shit about, but like
Right.
food, like health, I want the best. I'm gonna try to pay for the best that I can get. I'm not gonna be cheap on that.
Right. Like for
But
breakfast, I had fruit. I ate a lot of fruit. I had for breakfast. I had fruit.
yeah, like I don't consider price when I'm on my health.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on a shirt or something like that or some color. But shoes, no. Never wear cheap shoes. Never eat cheap food. Don't drink
Hey,
cheap
well,
alcohol.
I don't drink alcohol. Period. I can't take the smell, and I don't know how people drink it. But to each his own. They say the same thing about my ciggies, but I don't like the smell of weed. I got so much um lemon stuff in here where I wash my walls because I don't like the smell of weed. Ugh. Um,
Get you an air purifier.
I do. I
It's a
got two of them. One
it
upstairs
got
and
a
one downstairs.
it got
Blow
a
out that
I have
steam.
one. It got a charcoal filter in it.
I
It'll
don't know
clean your
what
house.
kind of filter is that Willie got, but one's in our bedroom and one's downstairs in the living room. And all I see is smoke blow out of it. Steam, rather, may I say.
Nah. The one I got is like for a grow house to kill the smell. It takes everything. Like if you cook anything, you smoke, what it'll take all the smell out of your air.
Mm. Well, when I keep bleach in my sink in the kitchen. I always after I finish washing my dishes, I put bleach in the water. When I come downstairs, my house smells so good. I'm a bleach queen because I
I
wipe
like
my
pine
walls down.
straw,
Yep, I wipe my walls
pine
down
pine.
and I mop my floors with pine saw.
Yeah,
But
that's what I use.
I'm old school. I bleach my walls, and when I come in the house, it smells so nice.
Yeah, my mama used to make us wipe the wall.
Yep, old school.
Put y'all little dirty hands all over my walls.
Yep,
She
I
make
flip
her wipe.
out. They think I'm crazy. Like, don't touch my walls.
I'm
And my
telling you, you
refrigerator,
remind
and
me of
my
somebody in
refrigerator.
my family.
You touch my refrigerator, I'm gonna flip out because the outside refrigerator gotta be white like it is. I constantly wipe the refrigerator because the little fingerprints be on my refrigerator, my stove. But anyway, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow so we can start part 3, which is very interesting. I hope y'all get this book or get a book. Maybe one day Geisha will pop on my panel.
Well, peace. I gotta go to the part store and I gotta find me a light fixture for my rent house. My tenant. I'm wrong with the
Um,
kitchen light,
that's what
so
I
I
gotta
gotta
get.
go
I gotta
replace
get a
it.
kitchen light bulb, and I'm gonna gotta go to Home Depot and grab them because it's different bulbs. It's two of them that go in there because I like my kitchen bright when I'm cooking.
Yeah,
So
I
now I
think I'm
gotta
gonna
go.
put a LED light up. Something light it up.
Mm.
She got an old school fluorescent light.
Duh. All right, y'all. Love y'all. I'm out. See y'all
Peace.
tomorrow. Bye, Super.
May Buddha be with you.
Same to you. I guess.